This is The Great Outdoors with Jason White, exploring the great outdoors in Pennsylvania and beyond. Brought to you by the Marianna Outdoorsmen Association and by Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Now, The Great Outdoors with Jason White.
Hello, friends. I'm Jason White, and welcome to The Great Outdoors. Pleasure to be here with you today. Start off by giving a special thanks to our sponsors, the Marianna Outdoorsmen Association. You can join the MOA today. They're currently running an early bird special. If you join today, you get the remainder of 2025 for free, along with an entire 2026 membership that will go all the way till December 31st of 2026. So that is a fantastic steal of a deal. Memberships starting as low as $175. You heard that right. Memberships do start as low as $175. There are different packages depending on if you're a veteran, first responder, if you're wanting a single, a family, a corporate, so on and so forth. There's different tiers and pricing, but the lowest on the totem pole as far as price wise is $175. So well worth the price. 2.5 miles trophy trout fishing, 1,000-yard rifle range, upland bird hunting, all available. Multiple pistol ranges, clay pigeon range, so on and so forth. A lot to do. MariannaOutdoors.com. Again, MariannaOutdoors.com. If you're ever interested in scheduling a tour, we'd be happy to have you. Give us a call at 724-579-0924. Again, that is MariannaOutdoors.com. Wild Acres Farm, Fishery, and Regulated Hunting Grounds. The website is 10mileco.org, which is an abbreviation for 10 Mile Creek Outfitters, who manages and operates Wild Acres Farm. So what all can you do at Wild Acres Farm? Well, need not fear. Whitetail deer hunts, free range. Turkey hunts in the spring, free range. Upland bird hunts, which will be firing up here very soon this fall. Pheasant, quail, chucker. We also have dove hunts available. Dove hunts, you do have to have your migratory stamp and all your appropriate licensing. If you come for the other upland bird hunts, you do not need, licenses are not required as far as upland bird, but anything with deer, turkey, and anything with migratory birds, you do have to have your state and federal stamps, just as an FYI. Just want to reiterate, no fence. Everything is free ranging, and beyond Wild Acres, which is just the hub for our lodge, we have well over 1,000 acres leased elsewhere that we manage and operate hunts on for deer and turkeys. Last but not least, we have corporate events, we have parties, we also have weddings. So if you're looking for any of the above, we have a fantastic barn venue. We have spaces for large wedding tents if you're looking for something with a couple hundred people. Barn comfortably handles 90 or less, so smaller weddings. And then we have our lodge, which sleeps 15. All Civil War era, beautiful place to stay, great place to relax. And, I'd be remiss to mention the fact that obviously we have 2.5 miles of private trophy trout fishing as well. So if you're looking to do a blast and cast or anything like that, or if you want to have a party, so on and so forth, we'd love to have you. 10mileco.org, TENMILECO.org, or give us a call at 724-579-0924. And I want to give a special thanks to the Washington County Tourism and Promotion Agency. Please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. Washington County is where we are located at Wild Acres Farm, and also Marianna Outdoorsmen Association. So we'd love to have you. Please visit Washington County. I want to jump into some upcoming events for the Marianna Outdoorsmen Association. Have a lot on the radar. I already mentioned about the fact that we have the membership specials running, which is very exciting and a heck of a steal. Thursday, August 28th, which is next week, we'll be having an upland bird and a fish committee joint meeting. We do this every fall just to go over, any rule changes, updates, so on and so forth, safety, signage, property boundaries, answering any questions, so on and so forth. Thursday, August 28th, 6 p.m. Saturday, August the 30th, we have a tour scheduled that is from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock. And I want to also mention the fact that all of these events are at our website page, our or on Facebook, Marianna Outdoorsmen Association at Facebook, and you can also go to our website, mariannaoutdoors.com. Dove hunting at Wild Acres and the MOA will open up Tuesday, September the 2nd at 8 o'clock. State dove hunting actually opens up the day before, but it's a holiday, and we're just trying to honor that, so just FYI. But yeah, Tuesday, September 2nd, we'll open that up, and standard laws and regulations as far as dove hunting will apply. Saturday, September 20th, 4 o'clock, it's the Energy Security and Sportsman's Bash. That'll be at 19 North Event Venue in Washington, PA. So anybody out there is interested in a ticket, we have those available. They are $40 a piece, includes your meals, drinks, and then obviously some wonderful prizes that are going to be available throughout that entire event. When we fire back up in October with trout stockings, our members' tag trout contest will commence. That will run the duration of October all the way through April. It's something really fun that we have and host. Anything from the smallest fish to the biggest fish, you name it, and in between, monthly, all the way to the very end, first, second, and third biggest fish over the whole time frame, and then smallest as well. So it's just something fun that we like to do, and keeps everybody engaged. Friday, October 3rd, first thing in the morning, we're going to do our first trout stocking. And then if you go again on our Facebook page and also our website, mariannaoutdoors.com, you will see we have a bunch of other events listed all the way basically until next May. So a lot going on, really excited about it. Just wanted to let everybody know, we got a lot going on. We'd love to have you. And certainly check us out, Marianna Outdoorsmen Association at Facebook, mariannaoutdoors.com. The early bird special is an absolute steal. I cannot, stress that enough, to get the rest of this year for free. And then we're running some new pricing packages for next year, which, like I said before, you can have a price as low as $175. So that is a heck of a deal. Looking ahead, I wanted to kind of touch base over some things with, Pennsylvania Farm Bureau, Game Commission. What are some things kind of on the horizon? Where are we headed? I've talked about in past episodes about the Certified Hunter Program. That is something that's actively moving forward here in southwestern Pennsylvania. Certainly, if you're interested in becoming a certified hunter, that is something that's eligible to anybody in the entire state of Pennsylvania. So if you're somebody that wants to be a certified hunter, by all means, reach out to the Pennsylvania Game Commission. If you're a farmer in southwestern Pennsylvania and you would like to have your farm opened up for folks that are certified hunters, by all means, please certainly reach out to the Game Commission. In both capacities, they can get you set up. Certainly looking ahead, I'm super excited about the Certified Hunter Program, because I think it's really going to be a foundation of where we move in the future. By incorporating technology, by the fact that everybody's going to get the OnX Hunt app, I think is truly a game changer. By allowing farmers, hypothetically, let's say you have 200 acres and you're like, oh, well, I would let somebody hunt over there in that 50 acres, but the other places I don't want people hunting. That was just never an option in the past. So the fact that that's where this is, and this is where this is headed, is truly groundbreaking. Additionally, the maps on the OnX Hunt app are going to be reflective of that. So that is a tremendous opportunity that has not existed in the past. So I'm super excited about that. People in many capacities have said, well, I'm not sure where I was going or didn't know where I was. Well, now there's really not going to be an excuse. I mean, you're really going to know down to within a few feet, give or take, of where you are. Even if, for example, a property by chance isn't posted, you're still going to know the approximate boundaries. So there's really not a reason or an excuse to be wandering on anybody else's property. So I think this is also going to help with any, whether it be negligent and or just accidental trespass. because certainly there are accidental scenarios. So I'm really excited because I think it's going to open up a lot more farms. I truly believe it's going to engage a lot more hunters. I also think it's going to be a much better scenario when it comes to trespass. Again, I do believe there are bad actors out there. That's not a question. That's probably utter fact. But also, there are accidental instances. So this is really going to help cut back, I think, on all the above. I'd also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the fact that, with House Bill 1431 and also that Senate Bill 518, with trespass reform and under the capacities of hunting, certainly I think that's also going to be a great deterrent for squelching or suppressing some of the trespass issues, especially when it comes to the hunting side of things. We certainly have a long way to go and much more to strive for in other capacities of trespass. When you're talking about fishing, when you're talking about people on quads and dirt bikes, when you're talking about people in vehicles, when you're talking about, basically any other capacity. So that is something I can tell you going into 2026. It's going to be certainly an important issue with the Pennsylvania Farm Bureau. Really looking forward to that, kind of expanding and growing. And, we'll see kind of where things go. But trespass reforms, is headed in the right direction. And I think the Certified Hunter program is certainly setting us up for success in a lot of capacities. I also want to, I think that you're going to see the Certified Hunter eventually expand statewide. I can't comment really right now to say what's going to happen next year. I do believe that it will, at a minimum, expand. I can't say that if that'll be regions or if that'll be statewide. It seems that it's going extremely well right now. Probably is quite the burden on the Game Commission, I would think, from what I've gathered by the amount of people that, not only the amount of farmers that want to get into it, but also the hunters that want to participate. So there's a lot of legwork, getting it all set up, getting people, through the proper channels, getting them certified, getting, the right apps, education, teaching people, even the technology side of it. So, I'm excited. I'm hopeful at a very minimum we expand a region or regions. But, certainly it would be an amazing accomplishment if it does expand statewide in 2026. So as things kind of move forward, I'll keep you posted on that piece of it. I do also see, with the idea of the Certified Hunter program, there's so many other things that can spur off of using the OnX Hunt program. I was recently at a seminar where we were talking to the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission, and that was a topic of discussion. And, they've been battling the issues via the Fish Commission, dealing with, fishermen, trespassing, going on people's property, so on and so forth. And we kind of pitched the idea hey, this could be a great collaboration. This could be a good piggyback opportunity that, fishermen could potentially have an app accessible that they could see parking areas, they could see access points, they could see where they can and cannot fish. That currently just does not exist. So that's that's an exciting premise, that there could be an opportunity for the Fish Commission to even reap some benefits of utilizing technology and working with the Game Commission. So, certainly nothing in that capacity is set on the books, but it certainly is hovering out there as a conversation for everybody. And, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, because I think it's only been a positive in regards to the Pennsylvania Game Commission. And I think it's only going to continue to improve and enhance. And I think the Fish Commission could have a tremendous amount of benefit by piggybacking on these ideas. Now, that being said, there's other opportunities, we'll say, for, how do I want to describe this? There's other opportunities for growth and an expansion with wildlife management by utilizing the same tools and technology. You can go on an OnX Hunt app right now as a person, and you'll see that you're able to link trail cameras, photos, etc. to that mechanism. That's huge. That is absolutely huge real-time data that the Game Commission could have access to. That would be geo-tracked. That, you know, that way somebody's not like necessarily taking a picture of a mountain lion maybe out in like Utah and then coming back to Pennsylvania and saying, "Oh, look at this picture. I've seen a mountain lion in Pennsylvania," or whatever the scenario may be. In these capacities, you could have cameras, use your cell phones, use trail cameras, and link them to this app, and it would all be truthful and honest, sincere data that could potentially be shared with the Game Commission. And I think from a wildlife data gathering, boots on the ground data gathering, that's something that just doesn't exist. Even right now, like, think about it. You know, I've heard people say, "Oh, I saw 50 or 70 deer in a soybean field at night," which is completely unnatural, and that's a completely mismanaged wildlife landscape. That's way too many deer for a small area. And you have to realize if there's 50 to 70, and if the does in that herd end up having 2 to 3 offspring the following year, now that herd is going to, at a minimum, double, if not triple. So the math of knowing and understanding like where your hot spots are, even for overpopulation, it's a very critical thing. It's a very blatant opportunity. But the thing about it is, right now there's not a mechanism for the general person to take a picture or take a video and to be able to share that with the Game Commission, so somebody could get like a real-time, truthful and honest, data gathering. You know, people just take pictures on their phones or whatnot, and then they have to upload them to an email and send them to the Game Commission. Well, if you were to go down this path with this whole technology idea, people are already using trail cameras. People are already taking pictures with their cell phones. People are constantly uploading stuff, you know, to different Facebook groups and social media groups in regards to what they're seeing out in the woods or what they see in wildlife. I just think it's a tremendous opportunity to truly engage people, get people to collaborate, because whether you're an avid hunter or whether you are somebody that just likes to nature watch, or whether you're a farmer, it doesn't really matter. We're all, at the end of the day, it's a symbiotic, interconnected system. And we all have impacts on each other in some way, shape, or form. And if everybody could help better share information, data, pictures, video, it's just going to make the ability to better manage wildlife light years from where we are today. And that's something that we should all want to aspire towards, because we can all have opinions about what our best practices or what the numbers are or what they should be. But facts are facts. So having better data helps you to get to better outcomes. When you guess in a math equation, you're going to get a guesstimate on the back end, or a guesstimate as your solution. So the more articulate we can be with how we're collecting information, how we're doing data gathering, how we're doing collaborations with different groups and entities to get information, it's only going to help all of us. Because at the end of the day, we need to harvest animals to keep the system in balance. If we do not do that, that's how you end up with scenarios with car crashes, excessive car crashes, obviously the risks of serious injury or even death. You end up with severe crop damage or utter destruction of somebody's private property. These aren't horror stories. These are things that have been recorded and documented as I hate to say, in many capacities, as the norm. And we just have to, get better data, get information, and at the crux of it, I truly, truly, and sincerely believe that this certified hunter program is a fantastic first domino that toppled. And that is a great thing. And I'm hoping as the snowball rolls down the hill, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, to get more hunters involved, to get more farmers involved, that the technology can expand even into other agencies for data sharing, data gathering, pictures, video, so on and so forth. Because if we're gonna move forward in a positive regard, it's going to have to be done with modernization, with technology, and by everybody working together. And I'm just really thankful, appreciative of the Game Commission for seeing the opportunity. There's some folks that are involved with the Certified Hunter program that I think are truly fantastic and are doing a really, really good job. But we'll see how this first season goes, and we'll see where the expansion ends up going next year. I'll certainly keep everybody posted in regards to the Fish Commission. Like, are they going to go down that rabbit hole as far as, maybe piggybacking, collaborating? And then obviously the data gathering, data collection, pictures. And something I kind of skipped over, but even the idea of QR codes on the hunting licenses. If you had this whole app idea, you'd be able to potentially scan your QR code on the back of your license. Like if you harvested a deer out in the field, I mean, you'd be literally in real time, like boom, ping, got my deer, and you'd be able to fill out your harvest. Same thing goes for the butchering facilities, which currently doesn't happen. Same thing goes for the licensed selling facilities, which currently doesn't happen. There's just more opportunities here to get better data. Better data just means that we're going to get better wildlife management numbers and better plans for the future. So I'm really, really, really excited about that. I know some other hot buttons that are, certainly of conversation. I know I've talked in the past about baiting, Southeast PA during the ag tag seasons, which would be your summertime. The folks that are set up for what used to be called red tags, they're allowed to bait in that particular region of the state. And I want to highlight the fact it's for antlerless does only. I firmly believe that during the rest of the state should be given the same opportunity. Now, albeit obviously starting out, I think that this needs to be done outside of normal hunting seasons. So basically we're talking from, ballpark February to September. It makes sense to me. I know that there's some proponents nationally about the risk of disease from CWD. I'm just going to say, I've said this before, I think that a lot of the CWD conversation is a big black hole of guesses, lacking hard analytical information. They truly haven't understood or know how it's transmitted. And I just feel, based upon what I've seen and what I've heard, and the fact that, other states, it's almost like there's a lot of facts and there's a lot of guessing and there's a lot of facts that I would also say that go ignored when you have a conversation about CWD, from the history of it to the fact that it's in other countries to the fact that it's in places that it doesn't even rationally make sense. I question the legitimacy of the scare tactics that have been conducted in regards to any conversation of CWD. And even with this, I've had conversations with certain people and that was a comment, but then I've had other closed door conversations to where I've heard that, any discussion of baiting is simply a cultural nuance. had nothing to do about disease, and I firmly believe it has nothing to do about disease or CWD. It has simply to do with a culture. But that being said, we have a culture in Southeast PA that during ag tech seasons, you're allowed to use that tool for management purposes, but in the rest of the state, you're not allowed. So I think it's something we certainly need to open up our minds and hearts to. We should give farmers and landowners more tools in the toolbox because that's simply the right thing to do. Other things that are hot pressing, I would say, topics of conversation are semi-automatics. I know this has been something that's been brought up by different folks in the legislature. Certainly, I think that it needs to have greater discussions. Yeah, we can talk about caliber size. We can have conversations about round capacities or whatnot, just like we do with any other firearm. That's fine. But it's certainly something that, I think the Certified Hunter program absolutely opens up more doors because, you're getting people that are being safe and being open-minded to obviously rules and regulations and want to make sure they're doing things right. I think we need to certainly take the stepping stones to get semi-automatics more into Pennsylvania, however possible. The idea of punishing everybody because of a few bad actors that either have existed or I guess are thought to potentially exist, I think is simply bad. It's bad practice. You shouldn't punish people, law-abiding citizens, for the bad actions of others. So semi-automatics are used currently for coyote hunting in Pennsylvania. Nobody blinks an eye or bats an eye. Nobody says a single word. It is what it is. It's not a problem. But it's like, if we want to have a conversation about shooting a deer, it's like, oh my goodness, the apocalypse is coming. The apocalypse isn't coming. It's just sometimes people are afraid of change. When I heard the conversations about baiting and culture of Pennsylvania, what does that even mean anymore? To me, to see so many people losing the connection with the outdoors and getting away from it, as far as I'm concerned, every tool that we can utilize to get more people engaged in hunting, fishing, the outdoors as a whole, wildlife management, crop damage, obviously, management. We need to do it. Things change, times change. There's certain, I was a proponent. I loved the whole idea of Main Street America. Well, guess what? When the highways went in, that basically was the foundation of the destruction of modernized, we'll call it Main Street America. So, things change, times change. We can't rewind the clock on where we were 60, 80 years ago, hundreds of years ago. So we are where we are, and we have to adapt. And implementing these different ideas, whether that be technology, whether that be expansion of the tools in the tool chest, whether that's allowing certain scenarios for baiting, whether that's allowing certain scenarios for different firearms. You're just giving more people choices and options. I've heard the saying that, allowing people to hunt on Sundays is about people's freedom. Well, I firmly believe in other capacities that conversation applies to. There's a lot of other freedoms that we need to give people. What firearm do they want to use? Do they want to spend the money to utilize bait? Let's not forget the fact that if people do utilize more bait, especially through those times of the year, that's a lot more ag products that are going to be sold. That's a lot more opportunities that people might get into wanting to put different concoctions together or products to help draw deer in. So I also see economic opportunity, not only management tools or tools in a toolbox, but I also see economic opportunities for expansion and opportunities for people to, to really head down a direction that maybe they didn't see as a business opportunity in the past. So, when we talk about freedoms, it's also opening up economic and freedoms for people to have different business opportunities that might not currently be existing. I can tell you, just from the Sunday hunting aspect alone, I'm actually going to be filming a TV show. I'll be announcing it later in the year, but we tentatively have a TV show that we're going to be filming in the fall, with some different national organizations about highlighting about some folks coming to hunt in Pennsylvania during rifle season on a Sunday. I think that's amazing. I think that's an amazing thought, amazing idea. I'm really excited to highlight the history that's about to be made this upcoming season, because everybody's going to be part of it, whether you hunt or you don't. It's a time in our state's history and our nation's history that people of Pennsylvania are going to have an unprecedented opportunity. And I think that that's really the crux of my conversation today is, we've identified we want to get more people in the outdoors. We've identified that we need to address crop damage, so on and so forth. We have to start pecking away at solutions to achieving those goals. Sunday hunting and giving people more opportunities, it was a solution. It's not the solution. It's a part of a solution. It's a piece of the puzzle. Trespass has been a major issue. We've taken a bite out of that apple. We have a lot more bites to take out of it, but that's headed in the right direction. Folks have made, obviously complaints in the past about the ag tag butchering process and having the game commission come to pick that up. Well, that's all been addressed and remedied. It's been simplified. But now as we look ahead, the Certified Hunter program is a positive step in the right direction. But now look at the opportunity for expansion there. Look at all the opportunity for incorporating technologies and reporting and tagging systems. I mean, all this stuff can happen. And for anybody that's concerned or questioning technology, I mean, there's a program that exists right now. It's called eBird, and it's a wildlife reporting app. It's for migratory birds. It exists today. Believe it was put together by Cornell University, but it is something that different state agencies in multiple states use for tracking of migratory birds. So this idea of utilizing technology for wildlife management or wildlife tracking assessments, it's not a new idea. It already exists and it's utilized, and it's a great opportunity for us for the future. Additionally, the ideas about baiting, to me, it's a no-brainer. I think giving people choices, tools in the toolbox is a no-brainer to me. Scaring people with conversations of disease when it's a cultural matter, I think is wrong. I completely disagree with any premise of using culture and trying to scare people. We need to give people options and tools in the toolbox. The conversation about semi-automatics, that's another one. There's just we can't demonize firearms. Like, the fact that we do, I think, is a crying shame, because what we should be demonizing is the people that have broke the law or done the things that were wrong, not the firearm or attacking anybody's Second Amendment rights. I think that's just completely and utterly wrong. But we need to break some barriers, I think, to give more opportunities for folks to utilize different hunting tools, tactics, methodology. But all this stuff is like really strategic moving into the upcoming year, because we got a lot of great movement this year. But guess what? The Board of Commissioners with the Pennsylvania Game Commission, they'll be voting in January. So a lot of other thoughts and ideas, that train is going to be coming barreling down a track very soon. So we got to be thinking ahead. Can't just get lax and lazy and think that, oh, well, we're going to sit on our laurels. We just had a victory. We can't even bat an eye at the thought about having victory. Yes, we did have victory, but now we have to really look at, what are those other opportunities, thoughts, ideas that we can pursue for the future. Some other things, just kind of planting the seed. I know I mentioned about trespass. I mean, trespass is going to have to be something that falls underneath of Title 18 and Title 30. 18 being the criminal code, 30 being the boating and fishing regulations on the Pennsylvania Fish Commission. That stuff's all going to have to be changed in some capacity. Not nothing major, but we have to make some changes necessarily that are needed to mimic the changes of Title 34. Additionally, you have to look at the capacity of litter laws in Pennsylvania, because a lot of that actually does stem to trespass. Litter laws in this state are lackluster, need to definitely be beefed up and bolstered. So that is a very, very, very important issue that'll have to be addressed with anything regarding changes in the law of whether that's littering, whether that's trespass, etc. Some other things on the horizon that I would just plant the seed, conversations about game land management, spending natural resource monies that come from game lands back into the game lands. I know this has been something I've talked about in the past. It sounds like the Game Commission's formulating a plan, so I'm very excited to see kind of where that goes and how it manifests. I think it's going to be a great opportunity, if they really do invest into the game lands, because we need better habitat, folks. We need better habitat. We need better access areas, parking areas. Holy smokes, places for people to dispose of garbage at game lands. Like, the list goes on and on. Just better management as a whole. Signage, some maps. Like, I could just. It does you no good to have land if you don't manage the land, because at the end of the day, those properties end up either totally being off the tax rolls, or the Game Commission's paying a very, very small percentage of what anybody else would be paying. And if it doesn't matter what kind of property it is. It doesn't matter if it's your property, my property, the Game Commission's property. Think of it like your house. If you didn't cut your grass, if you didn't take care of your landscaping, if you didn't mow your hay fields, if you didn't clean the gutters out in your house, what would end up happening? Eventually become dilapidated and deplorable. Well, the game lands are pretty much the same premise is how I look at it. It's a place for people to be able to go and hunt and access game species. It's not a wildlife refuge. It's not a sanctuary. It is a game lands, place for people to hunt and pursue game, the game that we're allowed to pursue with a hunting license, a trapping license, etc. So I think that is something that's extremely important and imperative for everybody to acknowledge. So from your parking areas to sub-parking lots, access roads, signage, these are all things that have been acknowledged as concerns by folks, not just in southwestern Pennsylvania, but across the entire Commonwealth. And I think that that's something that is extremely imperative that we, look at, see how we can, make things better. Because at the end of the day, the better the management plan and the better that management is implemented, people are going to go and have a good time. And that's ultimately how you not only retain hunters and sportsmen, but that's also how you grow the sport. So just everybody kind of think about that. There's a lot of things on the horizon that I think are positives. There's a lot going on this calendar year that's been monumental in our history. And I'm proud to say I've been part of it. And certainly I'm looking forward to, nothing but success stories, I hope, for 2026 and beyond. That being said, I want to give a special thanks once again to our sponsors. You can join the Marianna Outdoorsmen Association today at mariannaaoutdoors.com. Currently running our early bird special. It runs till the end of the year, but basically if you join now, you get the rest of this year for free, and then you get all of 2026 until the end, December 31st of next year. So that is a heck of a deal. Membership starting as low as $175. You can get information at MariannaOutdoors.com, or we have a ton of information at Marianna Outdoorsmen Association at Facebook. We're also on Instagram, MOA Outdoor Channel on YouTube, which you can watch any of our shows. And then we're also on Anchor and Spotify Radio if you want to listen to just the podcast version. So a lot of ways to get updates and information. A lot of great events upcoming. I want to reiterate the fact that Thursday, August 28th, we have an upland bird and a fish committee meeting at 6 p.m. Saturday, August 30th, there's a tour at 10 a.m. That is at 1997 Maury Road, Clarksville, PA 15322. That's at Wild Acres at the Lodge. That's where we'll meet. Dove hunting at the MOA opens up Tuesday, September 2nd. And then we have our Saturday, September 20th is our Energy Security and Sportsman's Bash. Really looking forward to having that and having everybody there. It's a great event. Gonna have a lot of great food, a lot of great prizes, and certainly just looking forward to seeing everybody there. So I hope you'll come to 19 North if you've never been. It's a fantastic venue. Trout stalking fires back up in October, and with that being said, we'll do our members tagged contest, which will run the duration of the season. So I'm really excited about that as well. And then if you want any additional information about events that we have ongoing, please go to Marianna Outdoorsmen Association at Facebook or go to MariannaOutdoors.com. And again, Wild Acres Farm Fishery and Regulated Hunting Grounds. Upland bird hunting is going to be firing up. So if you want to book a hunt, whether that's for you, a couple friends, if you want to bring some business partners, happy to take you out on a pheasant, quail, and or chucker hunt. Dove hunts are also going to be available. Deer hunts are available this fall. Archery and rifle, no fence, no fence, no fence. All properly managed food plots, so on and so forth. Tree stands, you don't have to deal with anything. Spring turkey hunts will be around the corner before you know it. And we'd love to have you for all the above. If you want to book an event, wedding, party, 10mileco.org, or give us a call at 724-579-0924. And last but not least, special thanks to Washington County Tourism Promotion Agency. Please visit Washington County, Pennsylvania. I'm Jason White. This has been The Great Outdoors, and I will see you all next week.